We are recording. Yes, welcome to the Flourish and Flooring podcast by Women of the Flooring Business, where we are a community of women in tile, stone, and flooring who are passionate about personal and professional growth. And I'm your host, Cameron Metheney, principal of Cameo Studio Designs, visionary, entrepreneur, and recognized for the concept designer dopamine, where I merge all things tile and lighting. I want to thank our sponsor today, who is Cameo Studio Designs. I'll put this up in the pop-up. If you are interested in learning more about lighting or how to light spaces, you can go to this website at cameostudiodesigns.com. And we're going to hide here. So this is our first day of recording live on StreamYard. So we will be navigating and going back and forth, but really having a good time with this. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor, you can reach out to Michelle. Here is her website. You can reach her at michelle@michellerightnow.com, and she can give you more information on how to be a sponsor of this podcast. Through this podcast, though, we aim to amplify the voices of women in our field and empower each other in flourish, business, and in life. On today's podcast, I am so excited, you guys. I get to be joined by Angelica Weber from Nico Tati Designs as we learn more about her journey and passion of tile and all things designs that she does. And we're going to also learn more about her role as an ambassador at Coverings. So I am so excited to welcome to the stage Angelica Weber. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, good. You're here. I can hear
Thank
you
for
good.
having me on. I'm
And
so excited.
well, we are so excited to have you today. So I know who you are. Some of our listeners might not know who you are. So can you tell the listeners about who is Angelica Weber from Nico Tati Designs?
Yeah, so I'm Angelica Angie. I am out of Dallas, Texas. I started off as an interior designer. Actually, I started off as a receptionist for a remodeling company, and then turned project manager, and then turned in interior designer, and then turned in remote assistant person, industry liaison. I don't know. I do all of the things for all of the people.
You do. You absolutely do. And you are absolutely amazing at that as well. Tell us about how Nico Tati Design. Tell me about that name, how you evolved into Nico Tati Design. I want to know like your story. It's so fascinating to me.
Yeah. So when I decided that I wanted to start my own company, I did a lot of research as to what other, people are naming their companies, and especially like one person ran companies, and I wanted it to be unique. I wanted it to be something that meant something to me. And so I ended up with Nico Tati. Nico is my dad. Tati is my mom. And yeah, and so it's just kind of, a play on them and homage to them. My dad isn't with us anymore. My mom is 5 minutes down the road. And I just wanted to do something that I couldn't get out of. I wanted something that like anytime I think of giving up, I think I'm giving up on them, and I'm like, no, I gotta keep fighting, or I gotta keep going. I gotta, they're both immigrants, from one from Mexico, the other one from Cuba, and their life was just so hard, and they did so much for us. I'm the baby of 6. So it's just, I feel like if they could do it, so can I. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I love that impact. I mean, it's not only the name of your business, but the story behind it has just so much grit. And I mean, like you have so much grit, and so that just speaks volumes, which I absolutely love. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
So tell
you.
me more about, how did you find your sweet spot in the industry as a designer? Like, why tile?
I honestly think that I love tile because of how I started in this industry. You know, I always like to say that I was raised by an installer. When I started in this industry, I started with Jeff Curran, and he is an installer now turned, you know, entrepreneur, business owner, all of the things. But I really learned everything about tile from the installer's point of view, not a design point of view, not a client's point of view, but you know, from that functionality. So when I started in this industry, it just, you know, it's kind of a backwards way of a designer, because I always think of like, okay, well, I know that that tile isn't a 12 by 12. You know, it's actually 11 and 3/4, which is actually going to matter a lot in my layout design because we have to think of grout. And so all of those things kind of played in. It's always functionality first and then design and then making things pretty. I always like to say that I like to blow things up before I make them pretty. So that's just kind of how I, you know, I got just evolved
I feel that
into,
from
you know,
you.
I loved.
Yeah, I feel that from you so much. So go ahead. I'm sorry. You were saying that you got involved.
Yeah, and you know, tile's just been my passion, and I think it's more than just, obviously more than just the material, but the people, the community, um, the industry. We think that the industry is this gigantic, you know, thing, and it's not. It's literally this big. And I think that, you know, a community of installers and manufacturers really welcomed me with open arms. And I have such great relationships with, you know, from everyone from installers, contractors, manufacturers. And it's just been such a blessing because they didn't, you know, I'm a designer, you know, who doesn't, I'm not an installer, but I know the methods and I know what's right and what's wrong. And you know, I've really just been welcomed, um and now I just try to kind of do everything that I can to better the industry, whether it's working with the NTCA or working with shows like Coverings or working with women of the flooring business. You know, just trying to make all of us better, because when one of us succeeds, we all succeed, you know?
Yeah. You know, I love that you said that. And I was just having the conversation yesterday with the president of the Women of the Lighting. And I was telling her, I said, you know, I've spent a majority of my career in lighting, but I got to be honest. I told her, I said, I have never been embraced in the lighting industry like I have in the tile industry. And coming
Right.
into a trade where, just like you, I'm not a setter. I do know materials. I do know, you know, foreman positions of installation and the ins and outs, but never had that embrace like I have
Right.
in this industry. And the women like yourself, women of the flooring business that, you know, have supported me. I mean, you are such an inspiration to me that, you know, hearing you say that, it really speaks volumes. And I'm sure when other people hear this podcast, it will speak to them as well, for those that are involved. And speaking of others, Angelica, who would you say in this industry inspires you, whether it comes from the design trade, the tile, like who is that person that like really motivates you? Just, I mean, aside from family values and aside from where your business name came from, can you share who that might be, or maybe what that is that does motivate you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so many people that are beyond as inspiring in our industry. Obviously, Michelle Winters, you know, one of my absolute favorite human beings in the entire world. She is definitely that mentor and friend that is like, okay, what are we doing? Are we, you know, she matches energy, and she is very much like, okay, we're in mom mode today because in 2 hours we have to be in business mode, you know, and she's inspiring, you know, people like Jennifer Baker or Jennifer Barker from Mathematics. They are fantastic. You know, it's kind of one of those like soul matching things. Of course, Cameron from Cameo Studios. It's just so inspiring to be able to so inspiring to be able to, you know, I think as entrepreneurs and I think as women doing this on our own, you know, it can be really lonely. And we're mothers, we're, you know, grandmothers, we're aunts, we're this, we're that, we're all of the things on top of trying to run a business. And I just find so much comfort and warmth and inspiration from not knowing that I'm not alone in the struggle, you know, and
Right.
y'all have really helped develop my motivation, my confidence, you know, my change in perspective, my change in energy. I mean, it is, and that's just to name a few.
Yeah, and you know, accolades for all that you've done for women of the flooring business, and even embracing my position coming in, and accolades to you. I mean, you were my strongest force through TICE of being a part of that. And so for those that don't know, like Angelica does offer a service for, well, and I'll let you explain, but from my perspective, I mean, you were able to get me on board with that show. You were able to design the layout of the show. You know, you did the hotel booking, like you just took care of everything. You were like the mom, and, you know, embracing that while you were the mom, but, you know, being able to embrace that as an entrepreneur. I never let people control anything around me. We just don't. And I let my guard down with you, and I just let you do everything. And I think that, you know, for me, that taught me a lesson that as an entrepreneur, if I want to grow, you know what, whenever I'm going through the peaks and valleys of what that passion and what entrepreneurship brings, like you have to trust those around you to work with you. You have to bring in the people that do things well that they do, and let them do that. And I think you and I had that conversation when we really, you know, started to plan for that. So the evolution of how all of, you know, friendships, and again, I go back to that dynamic of just embracing and learning about what it is to be an entrepreneur, like you've explained, but how the culture of women in the flooring business has really just amplified everything that you've talked about. So I'm great to be a part of that. And, you know, I want to know though from you, are you going to Coverings 2024?
I am. I will be there with bells on.
You with bells on, and what else?
So I am one of the ambassadors for Coverings this year, which I am so so thankful for that opportunity.
That's what I heard. I heard you're an ambassador for Coverings. I want to hear. Are we having a little bit of a is the audio slowed on your end a little bit?
Yeah, there's just a slight delay.
So what I was going to say to you is I want to hear more about your role as the ambassador. But first, a word from Coverings in general is, did you know, Angela, that Coverings is North America's largest display of tile and stone? And it is returning to Atlanta from April 22nd through April 25th. And they're featuring more than 1,000 global exhibitors from 40 countries at Coverings. and you're going to be able to explore breathtaking product innovations, develop industry connections, which we love, and experience transformative education sessions that are going to bolster our competitive edge. They're going to offer all of that for us spectators. And that is happening in 2024. If you do not or have not registered for coverings, use this promo code AngieNTD. You can register here too at coverings.com/AngieNTD, and that will get you registered for the event, which is super exciting. I am really excited to know, Angie, why do you attend coverings year after year?
I love coverings. It was the first trade show that I attended when I started in the industry. And it's the first show that gave me, I won an award, a design award with coverings. And with Details Tile, it's something that I share with Jeff Curran. And it's just been amazing. It's one of my favorite shows. It's gigantic. And everything from the networking and, the learning that it is happening. There's different trainings, there's different tours. There's just so many different opportunities to get to grow your village. And not just that, but it's such an awesome opportunity to meet people that are in your circle that you've only met online, that you've only been friends with through these Facebook groups. And it's just so exciting to be able to all be in the same place. And of course, just, the biggest thing is just being involved. And a lot of people ask designers and installers and everyone in the industry, how do you stay current on what's happening, right? Because design is always changing, that colors and textures, all of that stuff is always changing, but so is the installation methods, installation process, the tools, all of the things that have to do with the installation process are constantly changing. So a show like Coverings really encompasses all of those things, and you're able to know, okay, you know what, this is going to be changing. And that's just kind of, been the process. It's such a great opportunity for anyone in the industry to be able to grow their skill and network and make friends.
Absolutely. And just to see the trends, I mean, we've seen them just from last year, from the first year that I ever went, whenever I came with this whole lighting piece, people thought I was crazy. And then to see it last year kind of evolve. And now we're seeing it now. I know in 2024 in Atlanta, we are going to see lighting that is now really, really moved into the tile space, which is super exciting. Which, I'm super curious. How did you even become an ambassador for Coverings? Like, what does that even look like?
So I just applied, there's still time. I think if anyone wanted to still sign up to be an ambassador, you just go to the website, you fill out, I think it's like 10 questions on why and who you are and what you bring to the show. And I think that Coverings is really just looking for people who are passionate about the show, passionate about attending, and passionate about getting people to attend. It's my favorite show every year. I just look forward to it so much. And I was doing this last year, and just getting people to attend. And this year I'm able to, they don't pay me or anything, but I get to be on their website. They share my social platforms. I'm invited to a couple of things, behind the scenes at Coverings and really fun tours. And I just get to, there's doors that open to you when you are part of the Coverings team and the show management team. And it's just been such a blessing to be able to be a part of it. It's been really, really fun.
It is really, really fun. And do you know what is even more fun? I don't know if you know this or not, but the team of WOFB podcast will be covering Coverings 2024 on Monday, the 22nd at noon. Guess who I am interviewing? Guess. Julie Ireland
Who?
is going. Yeah, Julie Ireland is going to be on the show. Yeah, I know that you're going to be there, but for those of you that can join us, please come to the podcast booth at Coverings. We will launch and show where that location is, but we would love for you to join us. Also, to register at no cost, go to coverings.com, use the promo code /Angie NTD to get yourself registered, because you do not want to miss Behold the Bold and Be Prepared to Be Floored at Coverings this year. And I am super excited to be a part of all of this. Angie, what are all of your feeds where people can find you, your platforms where people can find you? I want to put this into our podcast.
Yeah, so I am on social media everywhere as Nico Tati Designs. Website, TikTok, Instagram, all of the things. And then I'm also just me, Angelica Weber. And I'm in all of the groups from Global Tile Posse, Texas Tile Posse, Women of the Flooring, Tile Chicks, Global Taco Posse. I'm everywhere. I'm really easy to find. So just find me wherever it's convenient.
And speaking of the platform, be sure, for those of you listening, to log into or go to womenoftheflooringbusiness.com. Also log into the Women of the Flooring Business on Facebook. Be a part of the conversations. Be a part of all things that are going on for women in this industry in flooring, tile, and stone. I think you'll really be inspired. Also, check out Michelle Winters, or reach out to Michelle Winters if you want to be a part of those conversations and you need business coaching. Angelica, I am so excited that you and I were able to connect today. I really look forward to seeing you at Coverings 2024, April 22nd through the 25th in Atlanta. And those of you who are looking for an amazing designer in the Texas area or in just the tile space in general, check out Angelica, NicoTatiDesigns.com. And we thank you again. We will see you. Our next cover will be at Coverings April 22nd at 12 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you.